Kavanaugh is basically standard issue Republican jurist. Okay, standard issue. Ivy League schools, clerk for Justice Kennedy, worked for Ken Starr in the impeachment process of Bill Clinton, and just stair-stepped his way to a federal judgeship in D.C., and now has been nominated for the Supreme Court. Rulings are thoughtful. He's not a bomb thrower. He's not a dissembler, despite what the left would have you believe. He's not going to go in and go, I'm going to dismantle Roe v. Wade. I'm going to be an activist judge. He's not. He's a strict constitutionalist, which means that he reads what the founding fathers put on a page, and then he applies it to whatever cases come before his court, which is, I think, what every American should want. Because, as you know, the Supreme Court does not make law. Congress does that.
So great points, and I agree. Sounds fantastic. I like constitutionalists. I like federalists. He seems to be both. My only negative, my own fans keep sending me emails of this show, my radio show. They all keep saying, Wayne, he's a Bushy, he's a rhino. Why would Trump pick him? So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I don't go in the extreme precincts of either party. So if an American thinks that George W. Bush was a rhino, Republican in name only, I mean, that kind of puts them in a category where it's really tough to reason. I mean, the Bush family is bedrock Republican. And that doesn't mean that they're going to embrace every conservative tenet. And that's why you have primaries. So Jeb Bush got his butt kicked because he was perceived by the Republican voters as not being conservative enough. That's why he lost. Plus, he was very boring. Okay? So I don't have any beef with that. But to kind of just throw people out the window saying, well, they're not real Republicans or whatever. So, yes, Judge Kavanaugh is definitely a part of the Bush Republican machine, if you want to put it that way. He is.
Right.
And if you object to that machine, then you shouldn't support him.
Well, I guess my fans were wondering why Trump wanted a guy who's part of the Bush machine when Trump is seems to be so anti-Bush family. So that was just I think a valid question. I think probably it's
let me answer that question.
Collins to vote for him.
Let me answer that question for your listeners. Trump made the calculation that Kavanaugh will win confirmation. And he will.
Correct. Collins and Murkowski, right.
Right. He will. He will. He'll get all Republicans and he'll pick off 4 or 5 Democrats. You wait and see. Once the tide turns.
All right, good. All right, good.
And that's why he did it.
And by the way, my answer to my viewers is, can you imagine if Hillary had been president? Don't complain. This is heaven. Don't complain. Let me ask you about NATO. You know, Trump is elected, I think, because he's a bull in a china shop. He is sure causing a lot of friction over in Europe right now. What are your thoughts on Bush kind of arguing with our allies?
You know what I loved? I loved the photo op with Trump and Angela Merkel this morning. It was great. There's Trump, who's just decimated Germany. And for good reason. Germany is just exploitative to the hilt. They've taken advantage of the United States in every way they can. All right. So he's just hammered them. So then he gets with Merkel, and Merkel's sitting there leaning forward with her legs crossed, and there's Trump in a chair next to him. All right? And Trump's going, we have a very, very good relationship. And Merkel is like this. You know, you can just read like, what? I mean, it's like, she hates him. Hates him. All right? Why? Because Trump goes in and he exposes the whole con. Did you know, Wayne, that in 2016, the USA spent $664 billion, that's our tax dollars, on NATO. You know how much Angela spent?
Wow.
$42 billion.
How much?
42.
Right, and there's the argument right there.
664 to 42. And we're protecting Angela from Putin. All right, we're protecting
there you go.
her. And we had to spend 664 and she does 42 billion? And Germany is the wealthiest nation in Western Europe? So Trump's exposing that. Germans don't want that. They're used to Obama.
I think
Obama goes over and he goes, hey, Donkey Shane, everything's great. Love you. Love you. All right? And then he goes home. Couldn't care less. Trump doesn't.
Right.
Goes in and he goes, hey, what is this? And then the Germans going, put that photo up. That was a riot. I loved it.